well-known experts, General G.D. Bakshi and Sushant Sareen, are on the debate. I have with me Dr. Jahidul Bari, who's an activist, pro-Yunus from Dhaka, and Moshiur Rahman is the organizer of the Jatiya Nagorik Committee, the National Citizens Committee. This committee was formed after the usurping of Sheikh Hasina and was formed with Yunus's support. And Moshiur and his companions were involved in the quota reform movement, after which the Supreme Court invalidated the circular regarding job quotas in the public sector, leading to the change in July. Now, you see, Moshiur, I want to start with you. You see, we are not going to hand over Sheikh Hasina, point one. B, realistically, you can do nothing when we say no. And I don't understand why this request is to be made. We are trying to improve our relationship with you, but you are being very hostile with us. It's not necessary for you to be hostile in your own interest.
Actually, we believe that India is our neighboring country, and we should make a very good relationship with India because we have the longest boundary with India. And you know, Hasina, actually when I talk about Hasina's regime, you know, in her 16 years regime, he killed more than 20,000 people who killed extrajudicial killing. 700 people has been disappearing. And you know, Major Fazlul Huda, he was killed directly by the Hasina, and Hasina directly slaughtered him in 28th January in 2010. And recently, the movement against Sheikh Hasina's regime, the students' uprising and the mass people's regime that Hasina's please, Hasina's uses our state agencies.
Moshiur, I just want to interrupt 1 minute. See, Moshiur, I will only say one thing to you. Everything that is going wrong in your country, you cannot blame on Hasina and you cannot blame on India. You will realize very soon, you will also realize, I'm sure, as a student leader, that you will realize that it is very difficult to run a country, very easy to attack other people. It is very difficult to govern. And I'll ask you one question, Moshiur. Abdus Salam Pinto is the name of a man who attempted to assassinate Sheikh Hasina in 2004. Why was he acquitted last week? A man who was accused of trying to assassinate Sheikh Hasina in 2004, why was he acquitted last week?
Actually, Hasina, he was trying to kill in 2014. That was, you are saying. Actually, there is no single evidence that Abdul Salam Pinto was accused. If he was accused, why he was gained bail in this case, and he is not guilty at overall in this scenario. And the whole
Are you fully aware of the fact, I'm sure, that there's a physical danger? Dr. Jahidul Bari, you know that Bangabandhu, the pioneer of the Bangladesh freedom struggle, was also assassinated in the same manner. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was assassinated by a group of Bangladeshi army soldiers who stormed his residence as part of a coup. You're absolutely aware of that. And despite being aware of that, suddenly now you don't want to recognize Bangabandhu, he is a nobody for you, the army is everything. But you're not doing the right thing. And we are not going to compromise her safety.
Not like that. I cannot agree with you that some of our army personnel killed Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
Who killed him otherwise? Cause. Who killed him?
Yes, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in fact was killed by RAW.
Oh God.
He was used by RAW.
Oh God, this is now Alice in Wonderland. God knows what means Hansel and Gretel, fairy tales. Why don't you admit it? Why have you become, you're not an army man?
Situation to kill him. And they made the plan, and
really?
It was just executed some of our army personnel. Okay. And behind the reason, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman became dictator, and she made his regime against the people of Bangladesh. He made his regime against the...
See, I'll tell you one thing. Jahidul, and I'll hand over to Sushant and General Bakshi. See, you are not understanding that Pakistan has no money. Okay? It has less money than you. Pakistan is bankrupt. Yunus met Shehbaz Sharif on the margins of a meeting in Cairo. And after coming back from Cairo is behaving like this. See, you are not going to get financial assistance from Islamabad or China. Your border is with India. You're surrounded on all sides by India. All sides by India. You cannot have a bad relationship with India. You need to understand. You don't have cultural. Let me tell you, Jahidul. You and I can speak the same language. Shunun. No. Realize one thing. देखिए, আমি আপনার সাথে বাংলায় কথা বলতে পারি। আপনার কোনো চাইনিজ লোক আপনার সাথে বাংলায় কথা বলবে। আপনি বুঝতে পারছেন না। You are falling into your own trap.
এখানে
আপনি প্রো চায়না হয়ে কি হবে আপনার?
গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয়।
কিন্তু গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয় কি আপনি একটা পাকিস্তানের সাপোর্টার কেন হয়ে যাচ্ছেন?
আমরা পাকিস্তানকে নিয়ে চিন্তাই করছি না, সাপোর্টার হওয়া তো দূরে।
তাহলে আপনাকে তো আমাদের সাথে ভালো সম্পর্ক রাখতে হবে। ভালো সম্পর্ক রাখতে হবে না, এই তো থ্রেটেনিং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ দিয়ে কিছু চলবে না। এটা বন্ধুত্ব ব্যাপার নয়, আমরা দেব না, আমরা হ্যান্ডওভার করব না শেখ হাসিনাকে, আমরা করবই না,
মেনে নিতে চাই না,
আমরা করবই না।
আমরা স্বাধীন সার্বভৌম জাতি,
আপনাকে স্বাধীনতা আমরা দিয়েছি, আপনাকে স্বাধীনতা আমরা দিয়েছি, এই কথাটা আপনি বুঝতে পারছেন কি না?
আমাদেরকে স্বাধীনতা আমাদের মুক্তিযোদ্ধারা দিয়েছে।
আচ্ছা, আর আপনি বঙ্গবন্ধুকে ওখানে বঙ্গবন্ধুকে গালাগাল করছেন, তারপরে আপনি বলছেন আমাকে স্বাধীনতা মুক্তিযোদ্ধা দিচ্ছে। আপনি তো মহা কনফিউজ কথা বলছেন।
ভারত তার আধিপত্যবাদকে বিস্তার করার জন্য এই
now anyway, this is now, let me translate this wonderful conversation. Our friend from Bangladesh, Jahidul, says that it's part of India's expansionist agenda. Sushant Sareen and then General Bakshi, do we need to acknowledge the request to extradite Sheikh Hasina?
I'm not for 3 or 4 reasons, not at all. I think it should be treated with utter contempt. This request, it's not really a request. They're trying to strong arm India into this. But I think for 3 or 4 reasons. But first, let me just touch upon, this completely bizarre and mindless conspiracy theory by this Jihadul fellow from Bangladesh that Raw killed Bangabandhu. If this is the kind of mentality and this is the mindset and this is his knowledge and this is his brains, then this whole conversation is fruitless. But since you've invited me, let me weigh in on the question which you have raised. First is a principle of international relations, which is not in any textbook, but it is that if your enemies, and clearly we have many enemies in Bangladesh, if your enemies don't fear you and your friends cannot trust you, then your foreign policy is a failure. Now, Sheikh Hasina was a friend, and I think there's no reason why we should betray her trust or the trust of our other friends in Bangladesh. We have many, by extraditing Sheikh Hasina. That is first and foremost. Secondly, Bangladesh doesn't have a judicial system right now. Look at the kind of kangaroo courts and this kind of non-functional, dysfunctional government. They have instituted murder cases against journalists. I don't know how many journalists have been booked on charges of committing murder. I can understand you say that, okay, fine, regime has changed, you were aligned to a previous regime. Even that is unconscionable, but one can still understand that, okay, you're taking it out on journalists who do not necessarily subscribe to your poisonous and pernicious ideology. But to book them on charges of murder tells you what kind of a government, what kind of a regime is running Bangladesh. And then you have a judicial system, a judiciary. You spoke about Pinto. Let's talk about Lutfuzaman Babar, a man who was responsible, who was a minister in the BNP government, responsible for importing 10 truckloads of arms, which he was going to distribute to terrorists who were acting against India. Both Islamist terrorists as well as some of the separatist groups, and BNP was part and parcel of that, and he was involved in other nefarious activity. He has been let go of. So they've even released the guy who is a certified terrorist of Ansarul Bangla, right? They have done this kind of a thing. So you expect any justice coming from a judiciary which is behaving in this manner. So, given the kind of kangaroo courts which are there in Bangladesh, I don't think there can be any expectation whatsoever that even if Sheikh Hasina was to go back, she would get a due process. She can expect any kind of an impartial justice in the kind of clown show that this so-called Nobel Peace Laureate is running. Thirdly, I think these guys, if they think they can get something out of Pakistan, they are welcome to it. Maybe they should have never gotten independence. Maybe they should have stayed as East Pakistan and stayed under the thumb of the Punjabis, who used to open their salwars to check whether they are not.
My point is tonight, without being disrespectful, point is.
No, I'm not being disrespectful.
I often think that today suddenly, I agree with you. Today suddenly, the Bangladeshis, because they are having this anti-Hindu, pro-Islamist sentiment, have become anti-India. I'm asking a question actually tonight. What if we had not sent our army and not liberated Bangladesh? What if today Moshiur Rahman and Dr. Jahidul Bari were living in East Pakistan? What language would they speak? Would they be allowed to speak Bengali? Would they be allowed to speak Bengali? Bangla? No, it is a fact. You must think about it. No, had you been East Pakistan, what would have been your existence today?
To ask about how to build up good relationship between Bangladesh and India. Bangladesh.
It's not possible this way.
Except India, as India will be upper-handed on in Bangladesh.
No, we don't want an upper hand. I just want to bring in General Bakshi.
Get Bangladesh as their friend.
Let me get in General Bakshi for a minute, Sushant. General Bakshi, no, 1 minute. Let me get in General Bakshi because he's been waiting, Sushant. General Bakshi.
Just one sentence I want to ask these guys. They have a person who's an advisor in the current government. This fellow on your show is saying that we need to have good relations. They have a person in the cabinet right now, current cabinet, who makes a Facebook post talking about annexing areas in India because the Bangladeshi population has to spread. Is this a basis of developing good relations with India? You release terrorists active against India. Is this a way of developing good relations with India? I'll yield to General Bakshi now.
Okay, General Bakshi. How do we handle this situation about their demand on Hasina?
Arnab, at the outset, I question the legitimacy of the Muhammad Yunus dispensation. What election has he won? He has been parachuted from Washington to Dhaka, right? Because he handed over the Grameen Bank funds to Hillary Clinton for her election campaign against Donald Trump. There is a procedure, there is a legal procedure for an extradition request. You can't send us a note verbale as some kind of a demand that you hand her over. Hand her over to what? To the tender mercies of the lynch mobs in Bangladesh, which is fast morphing into East Pakistan. You know, they have commuted the death sentence to Paresh Barua, right? They are getting truckloads of shiploads of arms from Pakistan to be distributed to our insurgents.
Can you prove that we are getting?
And they talk of friendly relations with India. No, Arnab, can I just finish? Arnab,
we are getting food particles.
Arnab, can I just finish?
Hello. Jahidul, let him finish. I'll come back to you.
Can you just
Jahidul ji, I'll come back to you. Let him finish.
The gentleman in the black vest, you know, he said that Hasina Wajed had about 20,000 students killed. I hope you remember that the Pakistan army killed 3 million Bangladeshis, raped 1 million Bangladeshi women, and sent 10 million refugees packing into India, right? You are trying to get friendly with the same Bangladesh, same Pakistan? You want to reconvert Bangladesh into East Pakistan? There have been no examples in history of a colonized state, colonized, raped by the Pakistanis, you know, handing over power back to the Razakars who are pimping for the Pakistan.
Moshiur Rahman, Moshiur.
We saw it with our own eyes. Handing over Bangladeshi women to the Pakistan army. Have you an iota of shame? Have you an iota of shame? You are trying to suck up to the same Pakistan army.
Not following Pakistan. Pakistan is
Have
not
you an eye of the
right now.
Have you any Razakar blood in your
Right now, our
veins?
matter is Hasina. We want Hasina
Traitors
back.
to your
And
own
we want-
country.
It is Hasina's
hang
At least the Mukti Jodhas fought.
She
Man, they fought
executed-
shoulder to shoulder with us.
She executed genocide here.
Now, you know,
Hasina is our man. Hasina is our lady, and she
What about
killed
the
our
Pakistani
students, our
genocide?
people.
That is what I'm asking you. Introduce genocide. What are you doing today? Genocide of the Hindu population,
There is no genocide in Bangladesh against Hindu people.
right? And we saw the
Yes.
justice system. You know, when the ISKCON priest was arrested, you know, the lawyer who came to him was almost murdered, right? No lawyer
In the
can come
Hasina,
and
in the
fight for
Hasina's
him.
regime, we
You
were in
call that
jail
a
for-
justice
for months
system?
of-
That's a bloody
for
lynch
years.
mob.
We were in jail.
Monsieur, one last question to you. Monsieur, I have a question for you. Monsieur, if I may have a question for you. You are the organizer of the Jatiya Nagarik Committee, and you promised that Bangladesh will be a democracy. Can you tell me when will you have elections in Bangladesh? What is the date?
Actually, you know, when we had got freedom from Pakistan in 1971, we had a...
Who gave you
we
freedom
had
from
a-
Pakistan? Who gave you freedom from
we ha-
Pakistan? Who gave you?
We fought against Pakistan, and you will say you support us. You people from India, you supported us,
Really?
and yes,
Really,
why
you
not?
believe that?
We
You
recommend
actually
that.
believe that?
Yes, why not?
You believe that?
Yes,
You've been told that?
yes.
Who beat the Pakistani army to pulp? Who made the Pakistani army surrender?
We will continue our
Who did?
relationship with India.
Who made the
We
Pakistani
will
army
continue
surrender?
our friendly relationship with India. We will
Yes.
believe that we will continue our relationship
So
with
the fact
people
is,
of India.
Monsieur, I want to ask you a question here. Since you promised democracy, I personally don't think that Yunus is going to hand over power. He's a dictator sitting with army support. You are not going to have elections. You have been fooled. Yunus is going to sit there with army support as long as he wants. Do you think he's going to have elections and go back to Washington aram se? He's not going.
You know about July uprising, and many students and vulnerable people has been killed. And
But when are the
students
elections?
wanted Yunus to be the government or to be the chief
When
of
are the elections?
government. And you know that our
Election
actually,
will be
just I'm
in
trying to
appropriate
say,
time.
Appropriate
When the people
time.
of Bangladesh
we need proper
demand
time.
So we will consider your request also on Hasina at appropriate time.
Actually, in
The appropriate
1970,
time will when
Sheikh
the people
Mujib or Awami League was
demanding
elected
for election.
in 1970s election. But after the getting of freedom from the Pakistan, Sheikh Mujib was the betrayal. He betrayed the people of Bangladesh. He established Bakshal, Bangladesh Krishak Shramik Awami League, and he abolished the whole political party of Bangladesh. And he wanted to be the lifetime president of Bangladesh. That is.
So now
why
you've got a
you
lifetime
are
president, you've
made
imported him from
Bangladesh.
Washington. You've got a lifetime president, Muhammad Yunus.
He is not a lifetime
Yunus
president.
is not like
he
the
is
president.
rather he
Yunus
is a guide
elected
of
by
Bangladesh
the people
people.
of Bangladesh right now, by the students leader of that was.
I'll tell you the fact, Monsieur, your economy, which was at one point of time growing at 5.5%, has come down and is going to go down to 3.5%. A staggering 1 million people have become unemployed in 4 months. 6.5 million people, 65 lakh people will lose their jobs in your key sector of garments. Your industrial establishments are shutting down. Your commercial establishments are shutting down. Your economy is going to become like Libya or Pakistan very soon. You have to understand India is your only real friend.
Okay, I can understand your point. Just let me talk.
India is your only real friend.
Hasina has.
You're fighting the wrong country.
Hasina's regime, Hasina's leader, Awami League, has been corrupted more than $240 billion. That was loaned by the World Bank, by the Russian, by the India, by the other countries. And that money was
We have not
corrupted
taken none of your
by the
money.
Hasina.
Monsieur, I don't know who you're talking to. We are a large 4 trillion economy, we don't need your money. But we need democracy in your country. This is very bad. It's bad for you. Moshoor, I'm a well-wisher of Bangladesh. You know today that my channel is the most popular digital channel in Bangladesh, Republic Bangla. Everybody is watching only Republic Bangla in Bangladesh. Why?
Not like that.
Why has it become so popular? Because people want the truth.
Channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are not giving back Sheikh Hasina, come what may. I thank you, Moshoor. I thank you, Jahidul. We are your friends, but we are not handing over Sheikh Hasina. That is it for now. And when I come back, why did Rahul Gandhi effectively call Arvind Kejriwal a fraudster? Impossible to believe? Well, it's happened when I'm back.